Several years ago, I moved into my first apartment by myself. It was my first time living in a large apartment complex, and it was very old and had basically no security except for the lock on your door. And it was in a relatively known dangerous county right outside a major US city. This event happened one night after work in the winter time, so it was already dark outside by the time I parked my car in the large parking lot in front of the apartment complex. I had just turned off my car and was grabbing my purse when I noticed another car with its brights on pull into the spot right next to me, which I thought was a bit odd considering the parking lot was very big and nearly empty. I had parked a fair distance from the entrance of the apartment building. I thought it was a little weird, but didn't give it another thought. I got out of my car, pretended not to notice their car, and started walking to my building. About 10 steps later, I heard a car door slam shut. I briefly glanced behind me to see a very large, older man walking in my direction towards the apartments. Everything immediately felt off, like something was wrong and I was in danger. I remember feeling like my heart dropped into my stomach and my hands felt unsteady. I tried to come out of it by telling myself how irrational I was. There was no reason at all this should make me feel scared. He was probably just another one of the many tenants here, etc. But I still could not shake that feeling as I kept walking towards the building. I took a few more steps and suddenly I felt like I couldn't breathe. I was panicking so hard. It was like I wasn't even in control of my body, and I started to walk faster and faster until I was literally sprinting into my apartment complex and towards the stairwell to make it to the third floor as quickly as possible. My body didn't care that I was freaking out over what seemed like a normal occurrence. It was just urging me to just go faster and faster. I made it to my third floor landing before my fears were realized, and I heard the door to the bottom of the stairwell slam open and bang forcefully against the wall, followed by the sound of someone madly sprinting up the stairs. I ran the remaining feet to my apartment door, which was thankfully just a couple doors down, and started to struggle with my keys. It was like a scene from a horror movie. I was shaking so bad I couldn't get the key in the stupid hole, turning it upside down, right side up, and upside down again, not getting it to fit. This whole time I could still hear someone sprinting up the stairs, big loud steps that seemed to be just on the verge of opening up the door just a few feet from me. And my hands just couldn't stop shaking. Finally the key fit, the door swung open, and I shut it immediately, followed by deadbolting the door. I was frozen for a good 10 seconds. I didn't make any noise in my pitch-black apartment, and I certainly didn't hear anything outside. I turned the light on to my apartment and tried to calm myself down. I thought to myself that it was probably just some stupid idiot trying to get home quickly, and that the person in the parking lot may not have even been the same person running up the stairs. Maybe it was just a kid. I just read too many scary stories, right? I was just being paranoid. After about 20 minutes, I was feeling like an actual idiot for panicking like I did, but I still could not shake that hair raised on the back of your neck feeling. I started searching the entire apartment and turning on every light to ease my mind. Nothing out of the usual. I then decided to check out the front door, just to ease my anxiety, since it seemed to get worse anytime I even glanced in that direction, and took a quick look through the peephole. I felt all the air go out of my lungs as I completely froze. Looking straight back at me was the same man from the parking lot. He was standing just several inches from the door, not looking confused or drunk, but serious and calm with a slight grin on his face, like he was in on a secret. He was standing so still and was just staring at my door. It had to have been at least 25 minutes now since I first made it into my apartment, and he must have been standing there the whole time. I was frozen for a good minute before I very, very slowly backed away and locked myself in the bathroom. I panicked and wasn't sure whether to call 911. Again, no security at all in our apartment building. When I changed my mind last minute and called the local police station, instead, since I reasoned I wasn't in immediate danger and was still in the mindset of me over-exaggerating the situation, the station said they would send someone over. I remember staying in the bathroom for at least another 10 minutes, and then getting the courage to look through the peephole again, just to make sure I wasn't imagining things. I wasn't, and he was still standing there, unmoved, with the same creepy expression. The police sent one guy who didn't show up for over an hour, and by the time he did, the man was gone, along with his car. The thing that really gets me is the fact that he stood there for at least half an hour, not making any attempt to knock on the door or walk around the floor. I have no idea what his true intentions were, or what made him eventually change his mind and leave. I also hate to think how he knew that this was my apartment. Either I got the door open just in time for him to catch it closing as he came upon my floor, or he already knew who I was and where I lived. I moved out of that whole area a few months after this event because I got a new job, but I still feel that fear anytime I walk through any major parking lots at night or go into stairwells alone. So, creepy man who stared at my door for way too long, let's not meet.
Hey Scaredy Cats, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on any of the stories. If you have any stories that you'd like for me to read, you can find the links for submissions in the description below.